Okay. Take two. Sorry, guys. My internet connection went crazy. My Wi Fi connection went crazy. Speaking of crazy, this lighting is crazy. That's better. Hi, sorry. My Wi Fi did something strange. So, I am back. I am back. Welcome to the live, both of you. I'll wait for a few people to jump in. But basically, I want to catch up on life stuff. You guys know I'm regularly uploading right now, which thank you, thank you. I'm very proud. We've been able to keep some kind of schedule, but I have not filled you guys in on like what's happening with us, with the kids, with Dan, with all of that. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'll wait for a few more people to pop in and then we'll chit chat. Hello, hello. I really do not know what just happened with my internet, but my goodness. Good morning. Good morning. Hello everyone. If you tried to jump in before, I have absolutely no idea what was happening. My internet, my Wi-Fi was going absolutely bananas, so I had to jump out and jump back in. So if you had a little glitch there, it was me, not you. So, friends, yay. Hi everyone. I recognize so many names in here, all of my usual suspects. How is everyone? Are you having the best morning ever? Oh, I would love that. Thank you so much, my friend. So, you guys are going to like this. I did have a video plan for today. I'm working on a No, I remember you, Mimi. Hey, girlfriend. Hey. So, listen. Don't derail me. I'm trying not to read comments. Hi, I love you all. So happy to see you here. I've been really good about uploading my content. I've been cooking like a crazy person. I am on my A game right now, you guys, and I just wanted to come in here with you, the people, the regulars, my regular folks that have been with me for a long time, and just fill you in on all of the life stuff that has been going on with us. I've been keeping up with the keto content, but I do not always include all of the extra details about family stuff. I want to talk to you about what's going on with Dan with his business, what's going on with me and the studio, what's going on with the little ones with transitioning into a new school situation for my big boy Lincoln. Like, we've got a lot going on. If you are brand new here and you are here for keto, I just want to let you know my keto journey and your journey connected to mine is an absolutely enormous part of my life. But I am a family first chick. I am obsessed with my family. My husband and my sons are the reason that I do absolutely everything that I do. They're on my mind 99.8% of the time. So I wanted to fill you in and let you know how we're doing as a family. And if you have keto questions, of course, fire away. That's always why I'm here first and foremost, is to support you guys. But if you've been wondering what's been going on with us, I'm gonna fill you in. So let's see. First, whatever you're drinking, cheers, okay? I've got black coffee in the cutest mug you've ever seen in your whole gosh darn life. Do you guys want to start with husband stuff or do you want to start with kid stuff? Or questions? Aw, isn't it cute? Black coffee, cheers, Tina. So let's start with the kids, okay? So if you are brand spanking new here, I have two sons, Lincoln and Levi. They are 4 years old and 5 years old. They are exactly 1 year apart, and they're both on the autism spectrum. Amazing, amazing, amazing kids. Everyone loves their kids, but yes, my kids are super, super special. So their ages are right about to get to where we started to meet, like figure out transitioning for them. Lincoln is turning 6 in September, so that means technically this school year he's supposed to start kindergarten. So we are going through the process of enrolling him in a very special private school that we have here locally that is centered around kids that have unique needs. So he's going to be starting kindergarten in August, and I am beside myself. I can't believe that I am about to have a 6-year-old. I'm about to have a kindergartner. It's just incredibly, incredibly amazing. And, you know, he's been in full-time ABA therapy for right around 2 years. And the amount of strides that he's made to be able to get to this place where we are starting kindergarten is just, it's our biggest accomplishment as a family, to watch him thrive and get to a place where he no longer needs full-time ABA therapy and he's ready to join the ranks of kindergartners. Like, I'm just beside myself. You guys have to understand, yes, Morgan, he's going to upward trend. One of the women, Lindsay, who is part owner of Upward Trend, is a very long-time family friend of our family. So we have been in really close contact over the years, and the program that she was originally running is where my kiddos would have gone to kindergarten. But now she opened up her own school, so it's the most incredible gift we've ever been given as a family and as a community. The type of private school that they have opened is needed in every single town in community. Like, you know, having a school that is small enough to be able to help kids with unique needs and unique abilities still be able to get a solid education is just life-changing. So we're super, super excited. He has his educational evaluation on Friday, and we will figure out what our path and what our game plan is. Levi is going to remain in full-time ABA for another year because he's not old enough to start kindergarten until next year. So I do have major mom anxiety about separating them because they've never been separated. But Lincoln and Ella will be back together, so naturally, Lauren and I are we're beside ourselves. You guys have to understand, like, I'm going to try really hard not to cry. This is why I don't do content structured videos about talking about my family and my kids, because I get really emotional and I'm so, I don't know. It's just, it's so impactful to watch all of the changes that have happened. So Lincoln, if you go back to one of my very first few videos and look at some of the videos that have the kids and you fast forward to now, that's a 2-year time span. My 2-year YouTube anniversary is coming up on July 25th. So it's been just about 2 years since we started the channel. That was right after Lincoln had gotten his autism diagnosis. Then Levi got his very shortly after. So we went from, okay, your older son is autistic and he's likely going to be nonverbal, to having this 5.5-year-old that is beyond brilliant and beyond capable of not only talking but communicating and having preferences and learning and creating, and he's brilliant with like electronics and video games, and he's reading, and he's the most empathetic creature that ever was. And I am just incredibly proud of him and incredibly proud of us as a family for persevering and giving him everything that he needed to truly find his own path. We never let it be like, oh, this is Lincoln, he's autistic, so this is what we're dealt with. It was never like that for our family. It was always, we are going to charge ahead. We are going to figure out exactly what it is that he needs to be able to learn and be the best version of himself, and we are going to sacrifice everything to give that to him. You know, and that was our family goal and our family mission, and it didn't matter what it took, no matter how much money it cost, no matter what therapies were needed, we were literally going to do whatever it took to get him what he needed. And then in a really fun twist of events, my second son, his little brother, Levi, also ended up being on the spectrum. And again, brilliant, kind, he is just out of this world. They both are. So very, very different needs, different strengths, different abilities. And we're incredibly proud of them. We were told they will likely be nonverbal. They will likely not understand love. They will likely not understand conceptual views, and like the list of things that they tell you when your child is diagnosed special needs. It is so, it almost feels like you're being scolded, or like they're telling you all of the things that you can anticipate that are going to be difficult or exhausting, when the reality is my kiddos don't have a mean bone in their body, and they have all of these great, wonderful things. And if someone would have told me that from the beginning, yes, you're going to have challenges, but all of these uniquely amazing, incredible things, and all of the things that they're going to teach you about yourself. And I don't know. I feel like I am a different mother right now in the flesh than I was 2 years ago and 2.5 years ago, when I was going through the motion of getting their diagnosis. And now, it's just our life, and it's just what we do, and we're incredibly proud of them. And they work so, so hard, and we do our due diligence as a family to really absolutely know what is the best path for them. So I'm super proud. So Lincoln will be starting kindergarten in August. Hopefully him and Ella are in the same class, but I won't know that until Friday and we go through all of our education evaluation. And little Levi, little Nugget, he's going to stay put where he is in full-time ABA therapy for another year. So that's where we're at with the kids. I'm very, very excited. We toyed with the idea of doing general education, and depending on where you live, state and county, and all of those things, there are unfortunately public school struggles to meet the needs of kiddos with special needs. It's just that's at least how it is here in our state and in our county. So for what my kiddos need to be able to thrive, we're going to go the private school route, and we're super psyched about it. Nervous, but excited. I'm applying for scholarships all over Timbuktu because I'm hoping that we get approved for something, but if it means we have to work 10 times harder, it means we have to work 10 times harder. I can do that, we can do that, and we will. So, speaking of work, Dan has started his own business since the whole quarantine COVID thing started, and he is absolutely killing it. Like, he is so incredibly busy. He's getting countless referrals. It's more work than he even knows what to do with, and we are beyond grateful. I'm so proud of him. So proud of him. Now, I'll tell you, we're like ships crossing in the night because I'm back to work as well. The studio is picking up. Weddings are getting rescheduled. Family sessions and vacationers, that's all starting to come back into play. So I'm picking up photography work here and there and staying steady with a couple of other things. So him and I are not seeing very much of each other right now, and that's had its own set of challenges, but we're doing good. Sancho, stop. There's 100 of you in here. Hit the thumbs up. I love you long time. So I just kind of think, like, when it comes to starting your own business, you absolutely never know what to expect. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're making the right choice. You just have to pull the trigger and go for it. And the timing of all of this was just so scary because it was happening during, this pandemic, and there's like so many different variables. Like, could this go amazing? Could it be terrible? Are we going to be broke in 3 weeks? And it really has just taken a really awesome trend to where Dan's working harder than he ever has in his whole life. I am as well. But we've never been happier. We have never been happier. To be able to be in control of your own destiny and to be able to be self-employed and kind of take control of your finances and your independence in that way is a very powerful thing. It's very scary, but it's also very freeing. I've been self-employed and an entrepreneur my entire life. I've always been self-employed. Everything that I've ever done for a living pretty much has been some form of self-employment. Hey, Sancho, stop. So I'm used to it. But now we've got both of us that are self-employed, which is super exciting. But it has its high points for sure. But I'm just staying super positive. Like, I feel really good about it. He feels really good about it. It's tough. I always say, though, like, times like this, when you're like two ships crossing in the night and, you're not seeing very much of each other, you have to have a very strong relationship with your significant other to be able to get. Sancho's got a bark. Come here, Sanch. Enough. When you're two ships crossing in the night like that, you need a really strong relationship and a strong communication so you can express whatever it is that is making you lack. Okay, so for example, if you just miss each other or you're feeling a little lonely, even if it's not something that can be remedied, like even if you can't necessarily just spend more time together, at least talking about it and addressing that feeling of, hey, I'm really missing you, I'm feeling really lonely, I'm feeling, whatever it is that you're feeling. Saying that out loud, I think, is really, really helpful. Dan and I have a very strong marriage. We have a very strong relationship, and that is because where I am weak, he is strong, and vice versa. Like, I have not always been the best communicator. I've not always been the strongest at communicating my feelings. And he's really, really good at it. He's very direct, and it's very easy for him to say what's on his mind. There is no filter for Dan. And I grew up in a family that wasn't so great about talking about things. There just weren't, it wasn't always easy to communicate. So I've learned that in this relationship, and I think that that's been the biggest game changer for me to mature and be a better partner and a better wife, because not only does he make me talk about what's going on, but I feel like we do it in a way that it's constructive, and I've never had that before. I've always had like the screaming, yelling, and then you have the silent treatment in the house for a few days. That's what all of my other relationships were like. So with this one, the biggest point of difference is we can have a civilized disagreement. And that's really helpful. Stop. My dogs do this every time I'm live. They like have to be the center of attention. Yeah, so that's Dan's stuff. His company's called DTM Customs, and he basically does everything. Bye, Tina. Remodels, demos, electrical, just a little bit of everything. He's like a super handyman. Stop. Mandy, it took me 30 years. I'd been married once before. I was in another really long time. You guys, stop. I'm serious. God, like babies. Yeah, it took me a really long time. A lot of frogs. And not for nothing, but Dan was so far away from what I thought my type was. He was younger than me. He came from this super small town. I was a city girl. I was only like gonna live here for a few months. It was not the recipe for true love. It took him forever to convince me to go out with him because I had never dated anyone younger than me before. I had never even been out on a date with someone younger than me. So it didn't, I don't know. Do you guys want, this is like the dirt. So let me take a sip of coffee. So, let's see. Let's tell the story. So, how old was I? In 2007, I married my first husband. His name was Chris. We were together for a few years. We just weren't a good fit. I had gotten pregnant very early on into our relationship, and we got engaged. You know the drill. We got engaged, then well, you don't know the drill because this is kind of a heavy part of the story. Trigger warning, miscarriage. So him and I got pregnant. We got engaged. We planned a wedding. The week before we got married, mind you, I was having reservations. Everyone told me it was cold feet. It wasn't. I miscarried the week before our wedding. So I called my mother to tell her I didn't think I wanted to go through with it. And she, like any mom would do, it's cold feet, it's gonna be fine. Well, it wasn't fine. We stayed married for a couple of years, but we just weren't a good fit. He's not a bad person, he just wasn't the right person for me. I think the person that's truly your life partner and your soulmate is gonna be someone that brings out your best organically. You're not gonna sit there and fight about, you never make me feel like a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just gonna bring out the best in each other. You're still gonna fight, you're still gonna argue, we're all human, and you're living with this person. So you're still gonna have roommate kerfuffles, and sometimes people are gonna just have a shitty day and be mean to each other. That just happens. But the right person is even gonna love the crappy stuff about you. You can't help it. It's a biological reaction. And I had been so selfish. In every serious relationship I'd ever had, I put myself first. I did. I put my career first. I put my needs first. I put everything I wanted to achieve first. And he's the first person that I've ever been with where I think about him and what's best for him before I think about me. It's not that I don't think about me. I'm finally at a place in my life where I do, when babies are really little, you have that whole mom burnout thing where you're a troll in the ripped sweatpants and you don't want to shower and what does it all mean? That really young babies thing is tough. But as they get a little older, I feel like you do start to kind of find yourself again. And it took me a few years to do that. But now that I'm back here, I'm like, okay, I can do things for me as well. But my initial instinct is to always think about Dan and the kids first. So I had never been that person before. I had always been how does this affect me? How does this affect my career? How does this affect my vacation? I was selfish because I never loved someone enough that it organically made me not selfish. Does this make sense, or does this make me sound like a terrible person? I'm just being brutally honest. But this is also really good advice. If you're single, go out with people that you don't think are someone you would go out with. You know what I mean? Go out with that person that your friend is trying to set you up with that's a few years younger or a few years older. Call that guy that, that gave you his number at the ale house and he had a mask on, so you don't really know what he looks like. I just think that when I met Dan, I was in a very vulnerable place. Yes, the kids have been back to school for quite some time. We were home for a month. So, I'm outing all of my exes right now. I hate that. So, let's see. Me and the ex-husband get divorced. I live my best single girl life for about a year. At the time, I was still working for Urban Decay, so I was traveling all over the place. I was doing all kinds of makeup artistry education and store grand openings and trainings and all of this stuff. Living my best life. And then I met someone, and we had this very codependent, unhealthy relationship. Now, when I say unhealthy, we were very good to each other and we got along very well. At the time, I would have said he was one of the best friends that I ever had. However, he had damage, I had damage. The damage that we both had mixed together created a toxicity that was not meant to last. So we were together for about 3 years. We did a lot of adventuring. We moved out to Northern California. We got really involved in the cannabis industry and learned all this like horticulture stuff. It was an insane and amazing experience. But then, as often happens, something traumatic happened. I'm just going to put it all out there. I always end up telling this story on lives because I feel like it's really crucial for you to understand what my headspace was when I met Dan, okay? So me and California guy go through a really traumatic experience. We had started a business in the medical cannabis industry and I was robbed. I was pistol whipped and left for dead, bleeding out of my skull in the middle of my store. Sancho, my little dachshund, old man that I talk about all the time, he got out. Mind you, we're in downtown Oakland, which is one of the most insane cities there is. We are relatively new to the area. And Oakland does not have a very good reputation for having reliable police, okay? It's a budget thing, I think, where they just don't have the manpower and the money to be able to send police to every situation. That's not the point, okay? Google some shit about Oakland. So, I'm pistol whipped, bleeding to death. I laugh because this traumatic experience changed who I am, but it gave me a growth that I'm getting to this, okay? I'm getting to it. I don't want to leave out any of the juicy parts. So I'm bleeding to death on the floor with my head cracked open. They rob us blind. It's like, I don't know, maybe 10 p.m. at this point. Sancho, who was my child, he was my child. Mind you, this is pre-kids Amanda, so this dog was my life. He was running the streets of downtown Oakland. It took me 8 days to find him. I had posters all over my vehicle. I made 10,000 color flyers. I made a Facebook page. I went on the radio. I hired a pet psychic. I did everything to find this dog. Oakland is a city of 500,000 people, you guys. 500,000 people. I found my dog. I was so traumatized by everything that happened, I knew that if I didn't find my dog, that I was going to never be able to heal or recover, like, from that situation. So I have talked about this on a live before, and I think I went into really great detail and told the whole story. So if you are curious about that, I might be able to find it for you. I won't get into all the specifics, but I'm here to tell you, perseverance looks good on me. I found my dog, y'all. So that happened in Oakland. And after that happened, I don't have to tell you that I didn't think I was ever going to be the same. It was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. I grew up in a big city, but I had never been violently attacked before, and it was insane. So we decided to leave California. Not necessarily because we felt unsafe, just because the whole thing and the whole mission and everything that we had gone out there to achieve had been tainted at that point. Our relationship was already in a really, really rocky place. It is very, very hard to move away from everyone and everything that you know with another person. It turns you into an extremely codependent partner because you're all you know. It takes time to like branch out and build a network and all of that. So we had this unhealthy codependent ass relationship. So we moved back to Florida. He was a contract firefighter. Do you guys know what that is? That's when someone who is a firefighter in America basically signs on as a contracted employee in war areas and works as a contractor for the military, basically. So he was a firefighter in Afghanistan. Like, that was his job. So we moved back to Florida. He picked up a contract and went to go work in Iraq. And I was broken. I was broken because I had been through this trauma that I didn't really know how to cope with, because who knows how to cope with that? Jessica, I should do a video on that. That's a good idea. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't talk about cannabis a lot, but because I know, you know, you're either for it or you're not, and I'm not a political channel, so. But I think a Keto Munchies video would be cool. I digress. So Ryan moved basically to go pick up a contract and to go work. Where do you think I found him, Nilsa? On the internet, of course. I'm not bashing anyone that meets anyone on the internet, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. It does work out for many people. But not everyone. Hi, Cindy. You'll have to go back and watch the replay. It's a good story. Talking a little bit about my past love life. So Ryan goes and takes the contract in Iraq. I have basically PTSD from this traumatic situation. And I decide, okay, where is the safest place in Florida that I can move, because this is the thing, you guys. When you've been violently attacked before, it changes your psyche and the way that you process things. Example, I could walk into a gas station, and if someone just walked up behind me, totally normal, totally natural, I would flip out and have an anxiety attack. I was, for a few years, basically, I was like, okay, well, I'm probably going to get attacked again. It really messed me up. So knowing that he was going to go and work overseas, I was going to be by myself. I needed to move somewhere that was very like podunk, somewhere where I was going to feel really safe and not threatened and not afraid. And for me, if I were to just put a pin in the map of my favorite place in Florida, it was always New Smyrna Beach. New Smyrna Beach was always my absolute most favorite place. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, so I thought that's where I would feel the most comfortable, but I went down there for a few months after California, and I just was not okay. It was way too populated. I was so overwhelmed. I knew that he was leaving, so I wasn't going to have a chaperone everywhere I went. I had to move somewhere where I was going to feel really, really, really safe. So if I could have put a pin in the map to anywhere in the state of Florida where I wanted to live, I mean, really anywhere in the world where I wanted to live, I could have gone. And I chose New Smyrna. And I met Dan within like a month of living here, and we have been together ever since. The dog, I found him, Nilsa. I found him. When I moved to Orlando in 2006, he was just running around in the woods. And I've had him ever since. He's a little old man. So, yeah, I put a pin in the map for New Smyrna. So if you do not believe in fate and you don't believe in destiny and all of those sorts of things, I mean, I'm really just going to tell you that you're probably wrong. There is so many times where our subconscious is telling us what to do and what is supposed to be our next step, and we just don't listen to it. It's crazy. It's crazy how things happen. New Smyrna Beach is an absolutely incredible little city. We're in Edgewater, which is just a hair south of New Smyrna Beach, but it's all one big thing. Thanks, Christina. The cookbook is still on sale. It's like on perma sale. If you haven't bought Back in Keto ebook, here's your plug. Go buy it. It's like $6. Yeah, so I started working at a hair salon, and a few weeks after I started, another young lady started. Her name is Carrie, and Dan was a very good friend of this girl. And yeah, I still have him. I still have him, the dog. This girl, Carrie, he was a friend of hers. He came in to get his haircut, and he basically harassed her for my number, and he just kind of kept cyber stalking me on Facebook, and eventually we went out on a date together, and we've been together ever since. It was just one of those things. Full on, authentic, couldn't fight it sparks, you know? We love each other in a way that I wish for everyone, but it took me, half my life to find it. He is wonderful, but don't get it twisted, Kathy. I only show his good stuff. He's funny. If he was sitting here and you asked him, he'd be like, "Whoa." He's an amazing man. He's very loyal. He's very trustworthy. He's very honorable. And those are the things that I love the most about him. But he definitely has a lot of bad habits too. He's a slob. Like when it comes to house chores and picking up and that kind of stuff, no way. I just gave it to Jesus because here's the thing, you guys. I have an option here. Dan is never gonna all of a sudden wake up one day and like be this incredible housekeeper, right? So if I spend my whole life obsessing about that one thing that sucks about him and overlook all of the things about him that are so incredible, what a waste of effort, right? I could never do that with anyone else that I was ever with. I would focus on all of the bad crap and all of the stuff that made them inadequate, you know? And with Dan, the inadequate things just seem so petty and stupid because the big picture stuff, he's so good at. He's an amazing father. He is incredibly thoughtful. He's super romantic. He's constantly complimenting. He makes me feel beautiful when I am the most hideous. Like the things that he does for me and the person that he makes me, I can overlook that he is like a slobby mess. And that he hasn't washed a sock since we met, you know? I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not. Lincoln and Levi are amazing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Cindy. I just, to me, it's really easy to sit there, and we even do this about ourselves. You know how I taught, hey Sharon, how are you? You know how we sit there and talk about internal dialogue? What our wheels and our spokes are doing in there and what they say to us, right? Standing looking in the mirror, right, in an outfit, as opposed to going, ooh, damn, my shoulders look beautiful, or oh, look at my décolleté, look at my cleavage. We're like, I've got a fat roll on my stomach, or ew, my thighs have cellulite. Like, why the F do we do that? Why do we do that? Focus on the stuff that is awesome, because the negative's gonna be there no matter what. Listen, I was a makeup artist for 20 years. I am now a photographer. I am here to tell you that even whoever you picture, the most glamorous woman you can imagine in your life, whoever is your vision of like, oh, if I looked like that, I would be happy or whatever. I'm here to tell you that even she has tons of insecurities and tons of things that she would change standing in the mirror. So try to focus on the things that are love. Focus on the things that are love in your relationship, in your mind, in your brain. It's really easy to scoop up the negative. It's like the negative cream of the crop rises to the top, right? That negative is sitting there so easy to grab. But if you dig a little deeper, you're going to find the good. And it's good to do that. I believe in manifesting those good thoughts and manifesting that love. Like waking up, it sounds so cheesy, but waking up and being like, today's gonna be an awesome day. That does something for me. Like, be your own hype man. Gas yourself up. If there's someone in your life that's bringing you down and you don't have anyone that's gassing you up and making you feel good, like, do it to yourself. You have that power. We all do. We all have the ability to be like, hey, you're awesome. You know, like, do it. Self-talk is the most powerful. I feel like we really do believe ourselves, and we really do believe what we are telling ourselves. So if you're sitting there focusing on all of these negative and unhappy thoughts, yeah, you might not have the best day. But if you wake up and you try to remind, because this is the thing, right? Like, everything's a tiny blessing. Everything good that happens, or every good thought that you have, literally everything is a blessing. Having a steaming hot cup of black coffee this morning, blessing. Levi waking up at 5, blessing, because he came in full on singing a song that he committed from memory. You know, there are little beautiful blessed treasures hidden in every moment, even the ones that you're like, why is this happening? I could have taken it 2 ways. I could have been like, oh my God, Levi's up at 5, someone punch me, this is the worst day ever. Instead, I sang the song with him and we giggled, and yeah, I'm gonna be tired at 2 o'clock, but so what? They love the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It's their absolute favorite movie. And there's a movie at the very end of the credits. It's called Speed Me Up, and they love it. They both have it completely committed to memory. So Levi, 5 o'clock this morning, comes in, speed me up. And he was singing every song. You guys, I'm so glad. I think sometimes you have to sit there, like, do you guys have those people in your life that no matter what's going on with them, if you ask them how they are, the first thing out of their mouth is going to be something bad, right? Oh man, I really have a headache today, or oh, stubbed my toe. It's never, I woke up and there was a cardinal eating bird food. You know what I'm saying? Like, switch your thinking. Even if you have to pause for a second, you know, I feel like I kind of grew up with people around my life that were more negative like that. Like, I did grow up that way. So that used to be my first inclination. And I started kind of realizing, like, shit, this is kind of my fault. I am the one that's manifesting these bitter energies, right? Like, I'm going to give you another example. This morning, it was for me too, Carly. You can still break the pattern. It's hard, but it's not impossible. So this morning, for whatever reason, I normally take the same way to school, okay? In the morning, I'm running late, so I usually take 95 to the exit to get off. If I have a few extra minutes, I can take US 1, and it's the scenic route, okay? So today, I was like, take the scenic route, right? So we're cruising, we're listening to music, then I realize, crap, there is this big, huge, whole intersection is blocked kind of accident, okay? Christina, shoot me an email if you're struggling. Oh, so sweet, Amanda@gmail.com, or send me a message on Instagram. I'll help you. There was an accident, and I was like, great. For a split second, stay with me. I was like, great. I decided to take the scenic route, and now there's a whole accident, and now we're gonna be late. Levi, in the back seat, Mom, turn right. He's right. If I turn right, I bypass the accident, and I can take the little river route. So we got to stick with like a totally scenic route. We were not late to school, and, you know, my 4-year-old was telling me the correct direction to turn. It was kind of cool. So it was a lot easier to, I don't know, to just find the good. You know, it's always possible to find the good. We all need the reminder. I don't wake up like Snow White every day, like singing to the birds and all of that jazz. But if I find myself going down that slippery slope of negativity, I switch it up. Sometimes all it takes is a song. Like, I have a playlist on my Spotify that's called Cheer Up Charlie, and I play it when I need to get, like, kicked in the butt, to be like, you're cool, it's good, it's fine, you are happy. Change the direction of your day. Change the direction of your thoughts. You're in control of that. Megan, totally. There's a ton of Disney on that playlist. And I sing my ass off. Whether it's at home or it's in the car, I can turn my day around, and so can you. I know this because I was a negative person for a very long time. You can change it. You can. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk on how not to be mean to yourself. Just kidding, but it kind of was. That wasn't my total goal, but I will tell you, some days I want to just chat with you guys about what's going on with me and what I'm doing with my life. Yes, keto is a huge part of all day, every day of my life, but I do get a little burnt out always talking about food and what I'm eating. There's a lot more going on with us than that. So the lives are a good place for me to be able to include that. You know? Oh, you guys. All right, 46 minutes. I'm reaching my expiration. Does anyone have any questions or any comments, anything, ideas for content that you want me to kind of brainstorm? I caught the cannabis and keto. I'm gonna write cannabis and keto munchies. I have this little notepad with me. It's with me all the time. So when a recipe idea hits me, or an idea for a video, or it's just basically a little notepad filled with only like scribble scrabble that I can really make out. Cookbook news. Yes, I am working on it. I have 2 game plans kind of going on. Tattoos. So what, you guys want like the tattoo story? Like the story to all of my tattoos? I could probably do that. Yeah, send me an email, Christina. Oh so sweet Amanda at gmail.com. Yes. I want to do like a mini cookbook, like a summer edition that's like cold recipes. Summer like salads and sides to bring to barbecues and things like that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. And then I'm also going to be having like a Fat Kid Keto Part 2 this year. The Cheer Up Charlie playlist is incredible. I can tell you that it opens up with Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and there's absolutely nothing you can do but smile when that song is on. It's so good. It's filled with tons of like Disney hits and then pop's finest, like silly stuff. Whoop, there it is, and you know, stuff that just makes you smile. That's good. It's good stuff. Oh, thanks. You guys, always so awesome to get on live with you. Thank you for giving me some ideas and giving me some feedback. I hope that you guys enjoyed our little chit chat today. And if you didn't watch it from the beginning, I drink aspartame every day. It stalls some people, it spikes insulin in some people, but not everyone. Dixie Mom, heck yeah, the cinnamon bun ones are the best. I knew it. Yeah, it's possible. Kathy, I make recipes that doesn't matter if you're keto or not, you would love them. Dan needed stick to your ribs food, so cheesy, meaty, filling, so that's how I make everything. I love you guys so much. I will see you super, super soon. If you need to contact me for any reason, ohsosweetamanda@gmail.com is the easiest way to get in touch with me. I hope you guys have an absolutely fabulous day, and I will see you really soon.